Okay, so what if you could actually build a better version of yourself? And I don't mean through some kind of vague wishful thinking. I'm talking about a clear, practical system. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to become what's called your highest probability self, which is really just the person you already have all the potential to be. So let's just start right here with this core idea. That stronger, clearer, more confident version of you, it's not some fantasy. It's real. And the system we're exploring today treats this better you as a high probability identity. Think of it like this. It's a real outcome, just waiting for you to build it. All right, so a better you exists, but how? How does this person actually come into being? Well, it all starts with getting our heads around this core concept, the high probability identity. So what is a high probability identity? Well, the key here is that it is not a fantasy. It's not about some huge overnight transformation that feels impossible. Nope. This is a potential reality that you build piece by piece through really small, consistent actions. You're not just wishing for it, you are actively, physically building it. And this really brings us to a fundamental choice. It's a choice we all make, probably without even realizing it, every single day. We're constantly navigating between these two paths. On one side, you've got the low probability self. That's who we become when we kind of shrink, when we're guided by fear and our old comfortable patterns. But on the other side, that's the high probability self. And that one, it's built intentionally through deliberate action, the right environment, and consistent reinforcement. Okay, to make this even clearer, let's look at a super simple but really profound mental model. It breaks down our identity into three distinct selves, and it's going to make a lot of sense. So here they are. First up, we have self number one, the present self. Pretty straightforward, right? That's you right now. All your current habits, your mindset, your fears, your defaults. Then there's self number two, the low probability self. And let's be honest, we've all met this person. This is who you become when you shrink, when you let fear and avoidance take over. But then, and this is the exciting part, we have self number three, the high probability self. This is who you can become, the person that's possible when you start improving the odds and taking consistent action. And here's the real game changer. The goal here isn't to suddenly become perfect overnight. No way. The goal is just to shift your life's trajectory. See, most of us live bouncing between self number one and self number two, our present self and our lesser self. The whole point of this system is to start living between self number one and self number three, moving from who you are now toward who you can become. Okay, that all sounds great, right? But how do we actually do it? This brings us to the core of the whole system, a clear, 7-step blueprint for actually building that new identity. All right, let's dive into the first 4 steps. Step 1 is about focus. You pick just one identity you want to build for the next 90 days. For example, confident me or focused me. Step 2, you define it. What does this version of you think? How do they act? What do they avoid? Then step 3, and this is absolutely crucial, you use micro actions. We're talking tiny actions that match the identity, like saying one brave sentence in a meeting or practicing just 1 minute of discipline. And finally, step 4, after every single one of those tiny actions, you have to reinforce the identity. And this phrase right here, this is who I'm becoming. This is the secret sauce. This is the neurological glue we talked about in step 4. Saying this to yourself after you take a micro action, it isn't just cheesy positive thinking. It's literally a command to your brain. You're creating a connection between that small action and the new identity you're building. This is what makes the change actually stick. Okay, now for the final 3 steps that really lock all this in place. Step 5 is all about designing your environment. You make the tools you need visible, you hide distractions, you cut down on negative inputs. Basically, you make the right choice the easy choice. Then, step 6 gives you a super powerful question to guide your decisions. And step 7, well, that's where the magic really happens. This is where the compound feedback loop kicks in, and suddenly your identity, your confidence, and your actions all start building on each other, and your progress just accelerates. And this is that powerful question from step 6. Seriously, this thing is a game changer. Whenever you're faced with a choice, big or small, you just ask yourself, which option increases the probability of becoming this version of me? That's it. It just cuts through all the noise, all the hesitation, all the confusion, and it makes the path forward so clear. Okay, so we've covered the how. We have the steps, but what does it actually feel like to live this way? Let's talk about the outcome, the high probability life you're actually building towards. This is that moment of realization that happens down the road.
After you've been applying this system for a while, the change, it's subtle at first. You almost don't notice it day to day, but then it becomes absolutely undeniable. You'll look back and that old self, the one who hesitated, the one who avoided things, starts to feel like a distant memory, like you're thinking about someone you used to know.
So what are the real, tangible benefits here? Well, you hesitate less. Your confidence isn't just some fake it till you make it thing. It feels earned because it's backed by actual evidence, your actions. You recover way faster from setbacks. You start to trust yourself more. Life just feels less chaotic. And maybe best of all, your progress stops feeling like this constant uphill battle and starts to feel, well, inevitable. And really, it all comes down to this one simple idea: 1%. You're not looking for 100% transformation overnight. That's not the goal. You're just looking to increase your odds by 1%. That's it. One small action, one better decision, one tiny environmental tweak at a time. That is all it takes to create absolutely massive change over time. And this brings us to what might be the single most empowering takeaway from this entire framework. It's a fundamental shift in how you see challenges, how you see setbacks, how you see yourself. Just think about this for a second. Being stuck is impossible when you see life as a probability field and you see your identity as a flexible system. Why? Because it means you can't truly be stuck, ever. Even on your absolute worst day, you can still take one micro action. You can still adjust your odds by that tiny 1%. You can always move forward. So ultimately, that gap between who you are right now and who you want to be, it's not what we think it is. We see this giant chasm that requires more talent or more intelligence or more time. But that's not the real gap. The real gap is just made up of micro actions and tiny probability shifts. And the best part? That is something that is 100% within your control. So you see, your highest probability self isn't waiting for you somewhere out there in the future. It's not something you have to go find. It's emerging right now with every single choice you make. So the only real question left is, are you ready to bring them to life? Are you ready to take that first step?